Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to make another video. It's part of kind of a series I'm doing on my channel. I don't know if you guys have watched my channel, but I do a lot of male fitness, PEDs, exercise science, philosophy, psychology, etc. But I've been focusing on boxing, what I call theory and practice, because I've been a boxer for now a few years. Okay, and I wanted to share what has worked for me, what has gotten my level of training from being a mediocre boxer to like pretty good, you know what I mean? And I don't want to boast too much of my boxing ability. I'm 42 years old. I was kind of a late bloomer. I started only a few years ago, but I think I know what I'm doing now. And what I really love to study is the theory, and then, like I say, it's theory and practice, putting into practice. In this case, it's going to be winning, like sparring, like when you actually spar, getting in the ring. Okay. And in this video, it's going to be about what I call sneaky ways how to land hits. Okay. Now, literally, there's like so many, you know, just to make it, I like to make these videos relatively short. I'm going to focus on around 5, maybe 6. But they're ones like right off the top of my head that I want to share with you that are ways that I land punches quite often. And the ones that when I incorporated them, I landed punches more often anyway. You know, when you first start boxing, you know, you go in the ring, you're a bit blind. You know, you don't really know what you're doing. You don't necessarily have the strategy involved, but you know, just having some really basic strategy and some basic moves that you can bring out once in a while. It's not like you overuse them too much necessarily, but you know, you just incorporate it in there once in a while and they can work. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about is doubling up your punches. Now, this is something that is pretty common, especially with the jab, but I'm going to suggest it for other punches too. The one I like to use it for, again, just I like to do it selectively, not often, is double up the lead hook. Okay, because often when you throw that first, say, I'll give the example of lead hook, they might block it, but then the second one, they're not going to know that there's going to be one coming directly after that. Okay, and you can do it by just throwing them super quick in succession, but as well moving in between, and that's kind of like the quote safer way to do it, but it's a little less aggressive. Like sometimes being more aggressive can work a little better because it's like you're getting those rounds off faster. There's a greater volume of punches being thrown, but sometimes like throwing like say that lead hook slip to a lead hook, or a lead hook pivot to another lead hook, the exact same punch, you might land both of them. That's happened to me before. But up close, like sometimes a double lead uppercut can work really well as well when you're kind of more close. So anyway, that's going to be one that a lot of people aren't necessarily going to expect, especially when you kind of change up the time and then one happens, bam, bam, like of this exact same punch. Again, they might block one, but they might not block the second one, or vice versa, or not block either of them. Okay, so that's going to be the first thing I want to get out there. Again, double jab is one that's used pretty often though. But you can also throw double straight body shots or something like that. Like, experiment with it, try it out. Seriously, they're not going to expect things like that. It's ones that they don't see coming sometimes, right? Second of all, what you're going to do is reverse the order of things. So, for example, it's like those words that you can read both forwards and backwards. What are they called? I forget. But it's like so say you throw a 1, 2, 3, but then you throw a 2, 1 right after. So it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 type of thing, or a 1, 2, 2, 1 type of thing. So you're reversing the order, and that can be done again like in a combo in itself. Which I'll give the reason why you might do that, because that's a good way to open up. Like once you do, say you 1, 2, 3, and then they react to that 3, but then you're back out there with the 2 again, and then a 1. The 1 might be just more of a defensive one, but again, you'd be surprised how many times actually a 2-1 is a great combo. Like, because normally it's a 1-2, right? You do 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and all of a sudden you do a 2-1. They're not going to expect that 1 after the 2 sometimes, right? So it's a reverse order, and that's just a way that, like, it just works sometimes. It's just a way that you go back on what you've already threw. Sometimes, like I was saying, it's kind of like a reverse, like you're just doing it in reverse. And if you didn't land that initial combo when you hit on a reverse, you might get one itself, because they got to like react to the one direction and then go and then kind of like react to everything that also they reacted to as well. So if that makes sense. Anyway, that's one that I throw sometimes. It's just like a very selective one, but it's one that does work. Third is, so often, like, you think this is kind of a counterintuitive one. Often you think you want to throw to where their guard is not, correct? But sometimes again, you start the combo by throwing where their guard is, and then you end up where it isn't, if that makes sense. So say they're in a high guard, you might do that 1-2 up top, you know what I mean, where they're high guarded, but then you do like a liver shot or something, you would do one down below. So that's a good way where, like, the first ones might actually kind of be like throwaway punches, you might state them as, but they're ones that it just works well in combos where you might actually start the combo to where their guard actually is, if that makes sense. And this works well, especially when you're as well up close, because you can do them a little bit quicker, and it's a little harder to read. Okay, so if you're up close and they got like this high shell or whatever, you might do that like a hook up top where their guard is, but then one immediately after down below. Okay, so yeah, there's a number of kind of these kind of tricks I wanted to explain to you. Okay, so what else is there? Okay, so I kind of touched upon this the other day, which is boxing, just like war, can be a lot about deception. So in a good way to and you can kind of bait them into some areas. So that, this is going to be a bit more advanced, but it's one you can definitely use. Is say you got your cardio conditioning pretty good, and you're in, like, say, the third or fourth or fifth round. What you can do is kind of bait them to be a little bit more confident, and when they're more confident, they're going to throw, and then you can counter it better. Okay, so how you do that is pretending like you're a bit tired yourself. Okay, so that's a technique through deception. Another one is also you can, like, kind of lean forward, and you can also do potentially kind of more of a lower guard, and then you base off their reaction, off how they react to that, then you counter that. Again, this is a bit more technical, it's a bit more advanced techniques, but these are still going in the video that I'm talking about, tricks and techniques to land sneaky punches. Okay, the other one, which I'll finish on, I think, because this is going to be a good timing, I think, of this video, is there's going to be punches which obviously come down the middle, correct? And then there's going to be ones from coming down the side. So a good way is to change that up, correct? But there's also ones that come like at a 90-degree angle this way with a 90-degree angle this way. So it's like a right angle triangle, okay? If that makes sense. And by throwing combos, especially in the later rounds, and especially if you kind of have them on the ropes and you got them reacting to you, this is the perfect way to throw, to coordinate different combinations together. So there's going to be ones that are like this, there's going to be ones that are like this, there's going to be ones that are like that, okay? And ones that are like this, and ones that are like this, ones that are up top and below. So it's about piecing together, it's kind of like playing Tetris in a weird way, piecing together combos in a good way. So again, the first combo might be like a right hook up top and then a rear uppercut, but then the one after one might be like a rear hook to the head, and then the second one would be one to the body. So you're piecing together these different combination patterns, okay? And this is going to be key when you like start connecting combos. That there's going to be ones that just work, like they just do more often than others, okay? And there's so many, like I can't explain them all in this video. I gave you one example, but then lastly, you start piecing together everything that I was just talking about. So doubling things up, starting with where their guard is first, piecing together combos, baiting them, etc., etc. It just, everything builds off each other, if that makes sense, right? Does that make sense? I think it should. And again, this is getting into ways to make you from a mediocre boxer using these strategies to a boxer that actually can hold their own. Granted, you can throw punches well, and granted, you're well conditioned. You start incorporating a little bit of strategy. You know what I mean? You're not just going into a game blindly. Like, it's like, I always like to liken it to chess. Like, a little bit of chess theory goes a long way, but it's not until you start playing the games and incorporating the chess theory that you actually start getting good, okay? And this is what I'm recommending here, that there's some theory, and then putting it into practice is going to be key. So doing some of these things on a combo bag first, you know, before you get in the ring, doing shadow boxing, just getting it in your mind first. Even playing it on a fucking video game will help, because when it's in your mind and you're in the ring, like it's like things will just start flowing because you already know what the hell you're doing. There's always that strategy in mind, if that makes sense. I think this is a good time to finish this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know. Chime in if you're more of an advanced boxer, if there's more things that I missed. Again, I just make these videos out the top of my head, and there are things that I've incorporated that have worked well for me, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.